What's up, everybody? We are back with a broken rod. We're going to repair this bad boy and get it back to functioning. I don't know exactly what happened. I think the customer's wife slammed it in the door or something. Or I know it got hit in the door and it snapped it. That's what it was. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and we got to remove the epoxy from here. Turn the slide on. You gotta remove the epoxy in the threads because it broke right in the threads, which is kind of crazy, but it happens. So we're gonna get all that stuff removed off of there, and we're gonna have to take the eye off. We're gonna mark everything, of course, that way we know where our threads start and we're gonna end and all that good stuff. But what I first have to do is prepare a small carbon fiber rod to go inside of this broken rod here, so that way they can attach to each other. It'll slide over the insert. We'll glue it together, let the glue dry, wrap the eye back on there, epoxy this bad boy up, and be good to go. So as you've seen in the previous video that I'd done on a St. Croix, we have to heat the epoxy up and cut it off. We can look here, look how easy that was. That was nice. Didn't have to do anything on that one. The threads were exposed. Perfect. Sweet. So there's only a little bit of epoxy right there. We're going to take some masking tape and go ahead and mark that off. That way we know where the threads are going to start. So we know the threads start a small bit up off front of this masking tape, because this is where the epoxy stops right there. Let's rip this off of there. Alright, now we're good to go there. Let's get the razor blade. Scrape that epoxy off. This thing is so hard to adjust. Looks like it gets harder and harder. Oh, stupid thing. Alright. Go. Now, put that over here. Put a new piece of masking tape on there too in just a second. We'll just leave that masking tape right there. So we'll start the threads anyways. Alright, so that one's good to go. Now, gotta do this piece. We'll get the eye off of there. This stupid torch is so hard to adjust. Sorry. Kind of hard to do this on camera because I'm not on my workbench actually. I like it when a plan comes together easy like that. Just gonna mark where this eye is gonna go. Let's get some masking tape real quick. Mark this. So we're gonna put this masking tape right behind that eye. Just like that. I know exactly where that eye is gonna sit. Perfect. There we go. Now we can take the rest of this thread off. We're going to reuse that eye. Rest this epoxy off of here. Sand that down some. epoxy on there. There we go. Right now. All right. Now I gotta see if I have a rod already small enough to go in there. If not, I gotta sand one down. They're sitting right here. I know I got a teeny tiny one in here. I don't know if it's teeny tiny enough. If that doesn't fit, it's gonna take a second. I'm gonna sand this thing down. Let's see. Look at that. Ain't that something? Did we just get lucky or what? Yes, we did. Hee! Yay. We're lucky. Alright, now we're just going to take some super glue. Glue this thing together real quick. And let me get a paper towel. Let's see, this is going to fit tighter. Make sure everything's lined up before we glue it together. Ooh, snap. We got lots of glue coming out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's put a lid back on that sucker. We got glue. Didn't want to do that. We got some glue on there. Put this end in here. I'm going to stick this in here. Okay, we're good. We are lined up. Good smash on there. Just wipe this glue down. We are good. Now we're gonna let that sit there and dry, and then we'll come back and get this eye put on here like that, and we'll get it wrapped up and we'll be good to go. So give it a break for a second. All right, everyone, we are back, and we are now going to get this eye put back on the rod. So first thing we're gonna do is get a tiny piece of masking tape. You can also use super glue if you want. I prefer not to if I don't have to. And this is going to be a very small piece of masking tape because that's a very tiny foot on that eye. That should, oh, stand by. We are back, and I don't know what I've done with my little strip. Oh, there it is. Masking tape. There we go. All right. Let's get this eye placed on here. And don't do that in case you run it over with your chair or step on it. This is why I said sometimes super glue is a go-to, but I prefer not to use it. I don't have to. So that looks just about right. Yep, we're lined up. Alrighty, now let's start some thread on this bad boy. keep some tension on this bad boy here. And get my little burnishing tool, I call it, I guess, a mixing tool. Yeah. It works the same purpose. There it is. Oh, let's use another one. This is just to keep the threads nice and tight. As we're going down, there's a couple more wraps to catch that tag. And then we'll cut that tag off. These threads better. Be careful not to break your repair you just done. Alright, we'll cut this tag off right here. Let's keep some tension. There we go. Tag cut. Keep that eye straight. Let's turn up the speed a little bit. Now we're going to turn it down because we're getting close to the eye. Looks like I might have to hold that down some. Alright, caught perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. As we get closer to that masking tape, we'll take that off. Keep the tension on this. That. Now, take our loop. And this is where it gets difficult with without having the extension. Or an extra extension for my wrapper here. Alright. No, threads to come loose. Okay, we can go ahead and take that masking tape off too. Let me get this tape off real quick. It's gonna get in the way. The loop. There we go. Alright, now let's finish her up. Go. And let's cut this. Boom. Let's heat her up a little bit. Get the. That's too much. There we go. There we go. Now let's get those things tightened up. Get the epoxy on. Alright, it is nice and wrapped. Already, you see me burnish it a little bit with a flame to get the burrs off of it, or the fur off of it, whatever. And we're just going to put some epoxy on it, and then we're going to let it dry, and it'll be good to go. So y'all stick around and see the finished product. See y'all later. Alright, we got the epoxy mixed up. We're just applying the epoxy now. And then we're going to let it dry. So, I mean, that's how you do a broken rod repair and a guide replacement at the same time. Well, it didn't really replace the eye, but it was kind of like a guide replacement. But yeah, anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more uploads. And you stay tuned for more rod and reel repairs. Peace!